Alright, so this is part 2 of the Jetway / J-Mark Opti 495 SX 3/486 motherboard. It has 3 VLB slots, 6 ISA slots, 16-bit, and 2 XT 8-bit slots. And of course you got the 386 socket right there, right next to, like, right over by these 2 ISA slots below this VGA only VLB slot. And of course there is a blank spot right there for the QFP 386 or 486 microprocessors. It's made from 25 megahertz, 33 megahertz, and 40 megahertz respectively. And of course that socket over there, the ones with the 3 dots, that's running these pins right here. That's for the 387 microprocessor, a floating point unit, or FPU, or Bathco. And then over here, this is a 230 pin left socket 2 for this 46, possibly Pentium Overdrive, 8 RAM slots, 30 pin SIMs, fast-paced mode, parity, I believe, only, or non-parity, one of the two. You can go up to 32 megabytes on this thing, so it's actually pretty good. I still haven't replaced that IC or that SN74F245N transceiver because I'm in the middle of cleaning this board off. As you can see, right now it's still in the stage of drying because I gave this thing a bath, like a couple of baths. This is the soapy water I'm using. It's only 2 cups of the distilled water. I warmed it up in the microwave for 3.5 minutes. And here's the other, well, this was also 2 cups of the plain distilled water. So I sprayed this on both sides of the board. Used a couple of brushes. I use this toothbrush for scrubbing the back of the board and most of the components right here. And I use this brush right here to go in between spots that are very hard to reach with the regular standard toothbrush. And scrubbed away both sides using the soapy water mix, the soapy distilled water mix I used. And then I rinsed off the board with the regular plain distilled water. I just heated it up. And I scrubbed away a lot of dirt and grime that was still on the board because the 91% IPA alcohol, which I have in the spray bottle right here, this is a 91% at the moment. I have 99.9% coming on the way from Amazon. I just ordered some today. Thank goodness for Prime shipping, huh? In any event, so the motherboard is still drying from the alcohol spray. And once everything dries up, I'm going to go spray some Q-tips and really detail the back of this board here. Or just spray it down, use some Q-tips or something like that, or cotton swabs to really get a lot of this grime off here. I have this container at an angle using the paper towel holder, or what was the paper towel roll, to keep this up so that way all the alcohol and all the other crud doesn't touch the board as it's drying, because it might do something, it might ruin it, it might peel off something. I just don't want to take any chances with it. And I gotta reflow a couple of things here, like this keyboard grounding plate, which is right here. I'm gonna go I'm gonna put some fresh solder on here. You get my solder wick to wick away all that, especially all these right here for the battery terminals, of what's left of the battery terminals, excuse me. Um, it's just only, right, let's see, from here to here, we're just affected. I think, because I checked the continuity for the keyboard and everything, like the pins for the keyboards are all still good. I checked the continuities for everything, including these ISIS slots right here, these two pins right here, and then list goes on and on. I tested all the continuity from these capacitors right here. It's getting power. It's getting continuity, so it's good. I also tested the ones from the EEPROM socket here. Tested all that because there's corrosion right over here. It's not affecting it because there's still copper that is still holding on without a problem, and continuity is still rock solid on that. The power supply connector, I checked the continuity by placing the leads onto the pins here to make sure that none of the contacts were completely obliterated. Contact points on these things are actually still in very good shape, so and the power supply connector only had suffered a little bit of damage, so I'm actually quite surprised that the power supply connectors are still in pretty good shape as is. Right now I'm just rotating the board, like swiveling it between front side and back side, well, upside and downside. And this contains the Opti 82C4985SX Northbridge chipset, a couple of PAL chips right here, and the board, it does have everything jumpered correctly. I did make sure that PAL use jumpers are set accordingly. The clock speed for the processors are set accordingly. Make sure that the cache is set properly. Name a few, like processor type 486 or 386. I have it set to 386 mode at the moment. Same with the VLB slots. Now, the reason why there are 3 VLB slots, these 2 will be used for basically anything except for VGA, pretty much. This one is just strictly VGA only. And I believe the reason why it says for VGA only, if my memory serves me right, I'm not actually sure what that does, but I think what that does is that only allows like a certain card to be inserted, and if you insert, like, for example, a network card or a SCSI card or input output card that does not have VGA on it, it's not going to boot. It's not going to detect it. So I'm guessing it's because it uses its own frequency or something like that, or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, so I got 2 different BIOSes for this computer I'll be testing out. Well, actually, the one is the original, the AMI BIOS from 1992, which unfortunately is not LBA compliant or logical block addressing for hard drives bigger than 520 megabytes, because MS-DOS requires LBA in order to communicate and translate the CHS, or cylinders, heads, and sectors per track. Yeah, cylinders, heads, tracks, sectors, excuse me. To logical block addressing, so it'll get the exact size. which is weird on my 364060 LC machine. It's over there. Um, it detects the full hard drive, which is weird, but it does not have logical block addressing. So it does detect like the full 4.3 gigabyte hard drive I have in there. I'm not taking any chances with the computer BIOS, so that's why I have a Promise EID Pro in there. And the reason why I'm going to be putting Mr. BIOS on here is because I did find one that's for the Opti 82C495SX chipset, which is great because I would like to test that out to see how that performs on this computer. So there'll be like a few things I'll be doing on this motherboard, particularly 3 things I have to replace on here. This first 8-bit XT slot here, that needs to be replaced because it looks like it lost a little bit of coating there. It's hard to see in the camera because my phone's camera is not really that good. Actually, those pins don't look that bad. Huh. I was expecting it to get worse. But it wouldn't hurt to replace it anyways. Unfortunately, there is an external battery header, so I'll be hooking up, I'll be daisy chaining the battery for this computer. I'd say 4.5 volts would suffice. And then over here, like I said, I have to replace this IC socket for the BIOS chip because half the pins have rotted out, rusted. The other half, still pretty good shape. This SN74F245N transceiver, that needs to be replaced because there's like rusts on half these pins, the other half corrosion, but not as bad on the other side, but it's always a good idea to replace all of them, all those key components. So like I said, so for those who are just tuning in, I'm just talking about this motherboard here. This is the second part of the series. Right now, I just cleaned the motherboard by using soapy water, which is the distilled water and soap combined, and then the plain distilled water, which is for rinsing. And then I have one for the IPA. I have it labeled as 91 to 99%. Right now I have 91% in there. And I use that to, like after I did the rinsing and everything, of course, I did clean out this tub here before I actually spray the alcohol in here. So that way it's not going to get any contaminants on the board or anything like that. I also have it propped up just a bit so that way the all the alcohol will just like seep right down to the bottom of this pool here, so it doesn't contaminate or erode or remove anything off the board. And I still have a couple of key components I still have to replace. Like I said, that the first XT 8-bit slot, I see the IC socket for the BIOS, the SN74F245N transceiver, which manufactured by Texas Instruments. And then the back of the board, I also did a scrub down on here. I'm sorry, I did both sides using the soapy water, soapy distilled water, and rinse it off with the regular water, distilled water, plain distilled water, excuse me. And then I put 91% spray down. I still have to do a lot of detailing on here, primarily because, I don't know if you can see there or not, but there's streaks everywhere because I'm using 91%. I have 99.9% on the way. I'll be using that to detail the board. The 91% is just for spraying it down, and the board is actually not too shabby. It's kind of shiny, except for this spot right here. or the battery. Ate a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna go put some solder on here. Get some flux from the Micro Center. Excuse me first. Put some solder on here. Use my solder wick to wick away all the contaminated or corroded. I always forget solder. Then do it a couple of times to make it nice and clean contacts. Because I did watch a video of how to do that. Because this one person was fixing Packard Bell motherboard, I think it was the PB410 or 430 that used the nickel cadmium batteries up until the 450, which started to use the coin cells. He did a video of how he fixed that one IC that one IC, not IC, that one QFP chip, or I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, he used the solder and flux method and used the solder braid to get all the corrosive solder off the pins on the motherboard, as well as the eyelets. I'm not sure what that's called, but I think it's called eyelets or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what those are called. It's like I'll show you the back of the board so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Sorry if I'm sounding like a Canadian. Okay, so you see these little pins right here. Those are eyelets, and if my understanding is correct, it connects from there's like a little pinhole somewhere like right here. Like on top here, and then it goes down to here, and then so basically there's like a long trace that go from here to here, and there's a little bit of an empty space in between. That way you can test the continuity to make sure that the continuity between the capacitors and all these pins right here for the ISO slots are good. Like I said, I tested that. That's still good. Same thing with the EEPROM socket here. I did test the continuity from here to these pins right here. To these, I think these are diodes, resistors, and all that good stuff. Oh no, that's the keyboard controller. So yeah, the keyboard controller is functional. I did test the continuity on the keyboard controller as well. Keyboard controller is fully functional. I need continuity wise, so I'm good on that. And I have everything set to a 386 processor, both the VLB slots, processor in of itself, plus the floating point unit. Like I said, they're in the beginning. There are two QFP spots right here, both of which, well, the one right here in the center, that's for the 386 processor, and the one out here is for the 486. So my initial plan is to only use the PGA variant of the 486, I'm sorry, 386 processor, as well as the floating point unit on this computer. And if you guys seen Robert B's thread on Vogons where he gets like hardware and he spruces it up, tests and everything to make sure they're working after the initial cleanup and all that good stuff. I think he does test them first before, or actually, yeah, he tests them after he does the cleaning and everything. He details everything, like video cards, motherboards, CD drives, not hard drives. Well, on the outside he probably does, but not on the inside. But let's see, floppy drives, basically anything that he gets, he details everything. he does an outstanding job on it, and I give him the Medal of Freedom for that one. Just kidding. Not Medal of Freedom. No, it's politics, please. I know it's a scary world out there. Been having a little bit of issues here and there recently, but I am starting to feel a little bit better. Just I'm taking a breather, relaxing, and a few other things. It does help, and it did help me. The reason why I got a little bit stressed and everything, or like why my depression, anxiety, panic attacks, and all that bad stuff kept going straight through the roof. It's because there's one girl that I talked to on Twitter. She's under the weather right now, and she's also facing the same issues as I am. And I'm scared that something bad's going to happen to her. I hate to lose her because she's a really good, well, to me, well, she does really good with helping out with the community and everything, making people happy. But there are a lot of critics out there that just don't give a rat's ass about how she feels or anything like that, or that they don't even care about her, like how she feels or anything like that. Let's just say. And actually, and my blue eyes on Twitter, if you're watching this stream, I'm sorry that I had to say that. I wasn't talking. I wasn't thinking clearly. Um, but anyway, okay. So this person on Twitter, I talked to. I do send her messages, checking up on her to make sure she's doing all right and everything, and a few other things. And right now, like I said, I'm scared because I'm afraid I might lose another friend. I hate to lose another friend because I lost so many of them within the past 6 years. I lost count, including coworkers, um, customers at McDonald's, friends I've known for years since I was born, things of that nature. I've lost so many since 2015 that I just lost count. It's been biting me in the ass ever since. But anyway, let's check the back of the board here, and I got a little bit sidetracked there. Yeah, you can see the reflection of the flashlight, but apparently my flashlight needs the batteries again. I use this all the time for no reason, and there was a sticker right there that said warranty 40 if removed. Like, what warranty? There is no warranty anymore. Wow. Actually, I want to thank Robert B. on Vogons for the tips and tricks for cleaning this motherboard. For cleaning a motherboard, I gotta say, this came out really good. And I missed a couple of spots again. Dandy. That's just the IS-8. That's just the top of the IS-8 side, so it's no big deal. Oh, I might as well detail those with the Q-tip. Alcohol. Let's take a look at the sides here. sound of using Q-tips to scrub a chip. I always love the sound of that. Anyway, a lot of it still has to dry off here, at the bottom here. It's still kind of wet in some spots. Actually, if I flip the board over like 90 degrees, so that way it'll dry off a little bit more. Just gonna wipe off these opti chip sets here. Anyway, we're on a subject of mental health. Mental health. I know a lot of people are still having. I know a lot of people are still suffering out there with this pandemic that's still going around in every country, including the United States. It's constantly getting worse, especially what happened in Capitol Hill on January 6th. That was very scary. And I gotta be honest with you, I haven't been that scared in a long time. Like, last time I was scared about something might happen was, Sandy Hook was the last thing I heard that something went bad. I was in college at the time when it happened. When a lot of things went down the drain for the United States at the time, and when former President Obama, was giving us like let's see here. I think he was covering something at the time when Secret Service, or I can't remember, like the White House, White House team. One person came out and gave him the grave news of what happened over at Sandy Hook. That's when he was really upset. He wanted to ban guns, but everyone did not want to do that. And I mean everyone. And of course, in my state, the idiot governor that we had in the past decided to legalize weapons of mass destruction, assault rifles, and other things to be carried at the Capitol and stuff like that. And with when this pandemic all started, that's when things got hit. Heinous. Not heinous. What's the other word I'm looking for? When things got out of control. Excuse me. That's when a lot of people were. Well, when the lockdown started, a lot of people brought their guns and everything to my state's capital, where our governor, would go to for her meetings or voting or doing her work and stuff like that. A lot of people are just pissed off at her for that. And she is the one that is better, and she's the one that's handling this corona pandemic a lot better than other states. But like I said, let's not talk about politics here. Sorry for bringing up politics. 2020 was a hell of a year for everyone. And I know a lot of people lost their loved ones. There was a 100-year-old World War II veteran that was hospitalized for pneumonia. That was hospitalized for something, excuse me. I don't want to say it because, one, it's HIPAA violations. Two, it should never, ever, ever be spoken on here. And I did speak something like that. Anyway, the World War II veteran unfortunately had passed away just recently. I think it was yesterday. yesterday from the virus. Yes, folks, it is real. No, you don't have to be a complete Nimrod for saying that it's not real. It's real. I haven't seen a pandemic this worse. I haven't heard of a pandemic this worse since the swine flu of 1918 and 1921. Heard that in history class I don't know how many times. And of course, it's the president's responsibility for anything that happens over here in the United States, or basically anyone, like Prime Minister or ambassador, things of that nature, any political figure. They're all responsible for it. Except one guy, the orange buffoon, or orange orangutan, that never gave a name for anyone. And I was laid off twice under that piece of shit. And it's 1:13. Should probably go to bed soon, but so the other board I'm going to do with the the other board they have, the Super Micro P54 VLPCI board. I'm still working on that. I have to replace that VRM chip, and a couple other things. I still have to clean off that board because that thing is in horrible condition. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the top of the board here. Well, bottom of the board. Let's see how much better it looks. It's shiny. I'd say it's a heck of a lot better than it was. So basically, like, it just rolled right out. Well, not even rolled right out of the factory. 99% of it. Anyway, here's the bottom of the board. And I still have to let this dry a little bit. But other than that, I'd say it's starting to look a lot better. And once I get the 99% alcohol, I'm going to go detail the whole thing here. And possibly doing like another spray down with the soapy water, plain water, other good stuff. Yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with how well that came out. It pleased me. Anyway, here's the Super VLPCI board. Nasty as hell. So I'm going to spray that down with my soapy water. And this will be in the other video of the motherboard series for this. But right now, I'm going to have to end the video here. In case you guys missed it, feel free to come back onto my Twitch. It's twitch.tv/retropcuser. And feel free to watch the previous stream. I'll post it on YouTube. Export that to YouTube once I get my laptop working. It doesn't want to work for some reason. Update never installs, so I have to refresh all the Windows files on there. and everything. I'd use Linux, but some of the programs I have, like the GM Tech 2 Win software that I have, that only works in Windows, doesn't work in Linux. Um, the programming tool, that also works in Windows, it doesn't work in Linux for some reason. I tried it before, but actually, I don't think I've tried it before, but I don't think it's going to work anyways. But in any event, I'm going to go clean this board some more. And I'll provide an update of this board, take some pictures once it dries completely, and see how it performed and everything with the rubber base tips on Velgrons. So I'm going to go end this tonight. There might be another stream later on tomorrow. I get off at 2:30 in the morning, so might see me then. If not, possibly Saturday. Because I have actually, yeah, I do a stream on Saturday, but on Saturday afternoon, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna be busy. Saturday, I'm gonna be busy all day. I have to fix the exhaust on my car some more. I have to replace a couple other parts on there. Um, Actually, I have to bleed out the cooling system some more. I have to fix the exhaust. I have to take my car in to get the rims cleaned out. Um, so I'm going to be very, very busy all day Saturday. But anyway, I'll post a video. I'll post an update next time you guys will see me. So it's probably be Saturday. Anyway, in case you guys, like I said, in case you guys miss it, feel free to go onto my Twitch, twitch.tv/RetroPCUser, and I'll post everything on YouTube as well for this motherboard series once I get everything all set. Of course, I have to export one at a time because actually, I might as well do one, then wait the next day, then do the other one, wait the next day, a couple other things. Anyway, I gotta run. Thank you very much for watching.